Nation, we've made it to Wednesday, hump day on. The hottest show on the streets, giving you your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Getting closer and closer to Saturday. SEC Championship game from Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium between Alabama and Georgia. Excited here for the matchup. College Football Playoff Committee still got Bama at number 8, but you know what? We're not even going to worry about that. You're rocking and rolling right now. Number 1 forum for Tide football. We bring you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you via YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you go ahead right now. You know what time it is. You hit that subscribe button. You smash subscribe right now. Subscribe to the channel. Get every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to subscribe as well. Also, share the show to everybody that you know on all platforms. Get them hooked onto the show. Hit the like button as well. Smash the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Let's get those likes up here on the show. We appreciate that. The daily Super Chat goal, $100. Daily Super Chat goal, $100 right there. Thanks to you guys. We want to hear from you, the Bama fans, on this evening. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from all of you, but we jump into the action right now, Eli. We got Bama, Georgia, SEC championship game on Saturday. This same old tango between Kirby Smart and Nick Saban taking place again. And what's crazy is we have a Georgia alum who's taking shots at Nick Saban again. You go back to the 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship game off the 22 season. Georgia taking on TCU in the title game. And Nick Saban was on the ESPN set, and who was right next to him, Georgia alum David Pollack, in which he said, Coach, Georgia's the new standard in college football. They're the new king of college football. Georgia, the new team in college football. Just move over, Nick Saban. Georgia's taking over. Basically, David Pollack said. And Saban side eyes Pollack as if to say, "What? Excuse me? And who told you to speak?" Like that's the kind of movement, eye movement that Saban gave to one David Pollack. Well, Pollack has decided to double down on his statement. He mentioned this week on the On Snaps podcast with Aaron Murray, former Georgia quarterback, and T-Bob Hebert, former LSU player. David Pollack goes, clearly, he says, I'm going to say this right now, he says, clearly, Kirby Smart, the better head coach than Nick Saban. Clearly. He says, look, Georgia, they're fundamentally sound. They don't make mistakes. They don't have the penalties. They don't beat themselves. They're buttoned up. Clearly, Kirby Smart, better coach than Nick Saban right now. He talks about, the discipline that we've seen Alabama play with for so long has eroded. If you look at the last few years, there's been more penalties by Alabama, more turnovers by Alabama. Alabama's having all these self-inflicting mistakes. That doesn't happen at Georgia. They play clean. They play sound. They play fundamental. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. Kirby Smart, clearly better than Nick Saban. So we're getting this from David Pollack doubling down on his statement from the 2023 National Championship game off the 22 season. Now, if you look at the numbers here, the metrics here, because they say numbers don't lie. You look at the metrics here, Kirby Smart is 1-4 against Nick Saban. David Pollack, Kirby Smart, clearly the better coach than Nick Saban. But the record states Kirby Smart only 1-4 against Nick Saban. Nick Saban 4-1 against Kirby Smart. But if you let David Pollack tell it, Smart clearly the better head coach at this time. We'll see. We shall see. Alabama, Georgia, even the betting odds are going crazy in Las Vegas. If you look at FanDuel, because I checked this morning, if you look at FanDuel, Rivers Bet, and Caesar Sportsbook, all three entities, when you look at sports betting, all three places, they have upped the point spread on Georgia. Georgia entering this week was a 3 to 4 point favorite over Alabama. Now Georgia, according to FanDuel, Caesar Sportsbook, and Rivers Bet, a 6-point favorite. Bama is a 6-point underdog to Georgia by FanDuel, Caesar Sportsbook, and Rivers Bet. This is getting very interesting. Very intriguing. Coach Saban going after SEC championship number 9 at Alabama in his tenure with the Crimson Tide. This is his 17th season. He's going after SEC championship number 9. He won in 2009. He won in 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016. That'd be 5 right there. 2018, 2020, and 2021. So that's 8. He's going after number 9 this weekend against Georgia. But David Pollack is saying Kirby Smart clearly better than Coach Saban. The record indicates Saban 4-1 against Kirby Smart. And Saban has only lost in one time. He hasn't lost at all. Big pardon. Saban hasn't lost at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He has not lost at all. So Mercedes-Benz has become Saban's second home after Bryant-Denny. So it's going to be fun to see how this all kind of unfolds here. But we're going to take our first break on the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting you started here. When we get back, Bama Nation, we want to hear from you. We want your thoughts. We want your viewpoints. We want you to line us up right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back to the action right here from the break. Number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA on a Wednesday. We got Eli. You got some love in the chat line. There was somebody asking, where is Eli Walker tonight? Well, Eli's right here in the studio. He's in the production room behind the glass here. So, Eli, you got some love, man. I don't know if you got a secret admirer out there, what the case is, but you got some love right there, Eli. Oh, that's your Aunt Kim. So, Aunt Kim, he's here. He's here. He's in the production studio, keeping me in line. Eli will also be in Atlanta, getting your video on the field for the SEC championship game. Shout out to Anthony Johnson, dropping in that $1.99 in the super chats. Appreciate that from Anthony. Daily super chat goal, $100 daily. Super chat going $100 right there. We go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. What's going on? We're taking this call. What's going on? You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feel? And state your name and where you calling from.
Derek from Omaha, Nebraska.
Derek, how we feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. How you feeling, Steven?
Doing great, man. Fantastic. Cannot complain here. Looking forward to being in Atlanta for this SEC tango between Kirby Smart and Nick Saban for the 6th time.
Right. Hey, man, I'm with you on that. I want to comment on this clown, Pollack, or whatever his name is. This dude, didn't he used to work at ESPN or something like that? And he worked there for a while. And after he made that comment, you know how he lost his job. See, you don't poke the bear, you don't disrespect, the GOAT. That's something you don't do. And only thing he's doing, we don't need bulletin board material. We're focused. This is the best coaching that Nick Saban has ever done. Everybody's on page. And going back to that 4th and 31, man. I hate to say it, man, but I was like, hey, man, at least we're playing Georgia and we're still going to SEC. My brothers, my friends called me and they were like, man, what's going on? I said, at least we're going to SEC. Right when I get off the phone, I'm like, oh, here we go. And he go throw that pass. Nobody could have made that pass but Jalen Milroe. And that just shows you the fight in Alabama. That shows you where we're at right now. And Georgia, let's just keep it real, Steven. Georgia has played a cupcake schedule. A cupcake schedule, man. They have not seen a defense like Alabama. They do not want to see us right now because we're on a mission. We're getting disrespected by them clowns up in the college football playoff, whatever they are. We're getting disrespected by them. And like, I forget who said, he came on his little thing and said, hey, keep on not believing in us. Keep on not believing in us. We're going to make you believers. Man, that's some real stuff right there, man. What do you got to say about that, Steven?
I'm going to say this, Derek. I'm going to say this. I got to give kudos to Mark Ingram one time. Mark Ingram, former, Bama player, national champion, Heisman Trophy winner. He works for Fox Sports, Fox Big Noon, FS1. So that's Pac-12, Big Ten network right there. And Mark Ingram on that network is showing huge Bama love right now. Like, Mark is getting into folks' face, showing you he played at the University of Alabama, whether it's Matt Leinart, whether it's, Joel Klatt. He's getting in everybody's face showing, hey, show this Bama that respect. So got to give that kudos to Mark Ingram. Even though he's working for the Fox Sports Network, he is still representing that Alabama football.
Yeah, I mean, that as he should. I mean, look what the Alabama football has brought to him. You know what I mean? Look his dad played at Michigan State with Nick Saban. So he knew what he was coming into. He prospered, and Alabama gave him everything. He's a millionaire now. So I'm not saying that he should. I mean, that's just the love that ex-players have for Saban and the program because, what the program and Nick Saban has brought to their lives. I can give you statistics right now that blow your mind. But like I said, I'm respecting other callers. Let them get in. And I just want to say Roll Tide. And I'm looking forward to talking to you next Wednesday, baby. For real. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. Derek calling in from Omaha, Nebraska, getting us started on a Wednesday. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Mike from Kentucky, man. What's going on, brother?
Mike, I'm doing well, man. We got part 6. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. Doesn't get any better than this. Live from Atlanta on Saturday. I'm ready.
Yeah, one thing's for sure. Alabama's in Georgia's head. They ain't in our head. Or old Pollack, or whatever his name is, wouldn't be running off with that damn jib he's got. I'm that play was just reward for every year I've had to watch that highlight. I thought I was going to have to watch that for the rest of my life. I think they're going to put that on the shelf at this point. That pick six.
I think Jalen Milroe and Isaiah Bond have successfully put that to bed with the 4th and 31 miracle that shocked the entire Pat Dye field.
Yeah, they were showing that on College Game Day for the Michigan-Ohio State game. I mean, I'm about over it. You know what I mean?
I mean, Mike, every Alabama fan's over it. Every Alabama fan is most assuredly over it. And at this point, they are thanking the job of Milroe and Isaiah Bond to not just to have this as a part of Alabama football folklore, but also to break the genetic thing that goes on at Jordan-Hare.
You know, it's been a long season with everything we've put up with from the refs. I mean, how many touchdowns have we had took off the board? About 10 or 11?
About 15.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're trying to cancel us, bro. I couldn't believe it. I mean, that's the only way I can call it at this point. They are trying to cancel Alabama. They can't beat us, so they're gonna cancel us. I mean, this college committee, them guys ain't nothing but executives. They run sports programs. There ain't none of them authorities on football. They're just a bunch of talking bobbleheads. We're going to walk that dog this Saturday, son, and lay this to rest. They have got Alabama. I think Bama's going to come in there about as pissed off as we've ever been. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think we're going to shut them up, and we're going to shut them up good. I can't wait.
Mike,
I just feel it coming. They done stirred up this hornet's nest one too many times. I heard some idiot on YouTube the other day say even if Georgia loses, they're still getting in. I mean, I about broke the TV over that, bro. I about stuck my foot through the TV over that. I'm ready for this game, and Bama's going to go in there and walk that dog, brother. Wait and see. It's going to be a just reward for a disrespected season. Everybody's doubted us all year, trying to hold us down. And I'm ready. Roll dadgum tide. Can't wait.
Mike from Kentucky calling in here on a Wednesday. He's fired up. I'm fired up. I can't wait to get down to Atlanta, Eli. I mean, you and I are both going to be there, but I cannot wait personally to get down there to Atlanta for this matchup here. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, my boy? Stephen Smith. This is Noah from Virginia, buddy. How you?
Doing good, Noah.
I'm watching you right now, Stephen, on TV. I hear you talking about Jalen Milroe. Oh, Jalen Milroe done good over Auburn. I was sick of that. We went over Auburn, and I got another question for you, Stephen. I got the prediction for the Georgia Bulldogs. You ready for your score?
Let's go.
Bama Crimson Tide 48. Georgia Bulldogs 20. I hope we wire them dogs' butt, Stephen, this Saturday. I hope we win it. And I hope we get to the national championship.
Get to the national championship. Appreciate Noah there for calling in. 48-20 is his prediction. Bama over Georgia. Noah got 48-20. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, what's up, Steven? It's Matt, Mattress Matt Mobile.
Matt, I'm doing well, man. Cannot wait to get down to Atlanta on Saturday for Bama, Georgia, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, and to see what is about to happen here.
Yes, I wanted to call in Monday, but I got off work too late. But and talk about the Auburn game, and I know we had a couple of penalties that were called back, but we were running that Bill O'Brien offense, which is something that I don't understand the need that we have. it's almost like we have this addiction to going back to that. And I don't understand why we don't run the high-powered offense the whole time. And I know I've heard people. I feel bad for the players. The players bailed out, the coaches in that game. It should have been 40-something points that we scored because of the couple of penalties that were called back. But even with the Bill O'Brien offense, we should have beat Auburn, pretty handily. But what concerns me is if we go into that SEC championship, and I almost think Jalen Milroe's better without good protection. For him to be able to sit back there in the pocket, and I know he likes to try and be a Bryce Young, but and sit back there in the pocket. But when you drop him back in the pocket for a long extended period of time, I feel like that's when we get into trouble. And that's the only thing that concerns me is if we go in there to Georgia and Tommy Rees sitting dialing up a good play every play, there's no reason why we should ever just do a traditional handoff up the middle or just a drop back, wait until the third or fourth read. I don't understand why we would ever do it. We shouldn't even run a play unless we're doing a jet sweep to Kendrick Law, a dump pass, to Jamarian Miller, a cross route to Isaiah Bond. Let's call a play and get the play done. I would almost rather see Milroe lose yards and us fail on a play that we went ahead and executed and we failed at than for Milroe to sit back and just sit there and wait for a receiver to finally get open. The odds that a receiver is going to get open at the very end of all of the reads, are so much worse probability than just going ahead and running your play and getting it over with. And I don't know why that bothers me so much. I guess I'm scarred. I have PTSD from the Bill O'Brien days when I see that drop back offense where they drop back and they sit there and he sits there like tries to be Bryce Young and wait for a receiver to get open so he can make this great pass. It's just every now and then he'll connect with one, but we have so much more success when we just. I would almost want to see them Milroe hand it off to somebody and then go out there and block. I think Milroe could be a good blocker too. So I think Tommy Rees about lost the season. I blame that Auburn game on Tommy Rees, and I know, we had a couple of penalties called back. I understand that, but I do not want to sit through the entire Georgia game and watch the drop back statue offense that we have such an addiction to going back to. And I don't understand why. I don't understand. We are not an NFL team. It's not an NFL drop back offense from the 1930s.
I mean, Matt, I agree with you. And this game right here, and I appreciate Matthews Matt from Mobile for calling into the show. This game right here is where both coordinators, Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele, are going to earn that contract. Because for a lot of you as fans out there, you have circled this game, Alabama, Georgia. Bama's facing a team in Georgia where you got to be at your best. You got to be on your A game. You can't give them nothing, but you got to take everything from them. So this is the game where you have circled to where Tommy Rees has to have his game to earn the paycheck he signed on to, and Kevin Steele has to have his best game to earn the paycheck he has signed on to. So both coordinators know, here is the matchup. Everybody's hat circled. Here is the matchup we were brought in for. Here is the matchup that we have to have our best thing scripted and executed to make sure that we get done what we need to get done. But we take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen, what's going on Hump Day in Birmingham? You good?
I'm doing good, Wayne, and I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited. I'm ready to get down to Atlanta. SEC Championship, Bama, Georgia, Saban, Kirby Smart. Again, I'm excited.
Yeah, I had a strange thing happen to me yesterday. I was sitting there at the shop and my phone was ringing and I looked at it. Excuse me, it had a Georgia number. I said, who the heck is that? I didn't answer. I kept on doing what I was doing. It rang again. It said, Kirby, K-I-R-B-Y. I said, what? I picked the phone up and he said, why haven't I been trying to call you? This is Kirby Smart. He said, why didn't you answer the phone the first time? I said, well, you've only got 2 rings. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen Saturday, but it may be a earthquake. I don't know. It could be a 10.0 earthquake. We can hear it all over the United States, but it's going to be a good game, and whoever wins, the best team wins. And I don't know about these playoffs. We're just going to have to take care of business, I guess, not we, they. And we'll see what happens after the playoffs. If Alabama gets in, they get in. If they don't, there's nothing we can do about it. We can cry all day long, but it's still not going to do any good. But next year, this is the year we need the 12-team playoff. I was against it for a long time. I said, no, we don't need it. But I can see the reason why they're doing it now clearly. And I agree with them 1,000,000%, maybe a 16-team playoff, if you really want to get down to brass tacks on it. A lot of people going to say, well, you crazy. Well, you need the 12-team playoff this year. Am I crazy this year?
I mean, you would not be crazy this year, Wayne, because if you look at the 12-team playoff, would definitely fit this year, especially with the committee not wanting to elevate Bama over Oregon or Bama over Texas, and just so much going on. You look at this committee, you ask yourself, are they really watching these games? Are they just feeding us stuff? So the 12-team playoff would have really been sufficient this year.
Yeah, I think it would have been very fitting for this year and certainly will be next year. But anyway, y'all doing great. I just thought I'd call in here, try to catch y'all again Friday. I don't know if I will. I'll be busy trying to head over that way, the good Lord's willing. See what happens here. We want to leave with a smile on our face. We don't want to leave disappointed. But remember, you probably won't have to have your crash helmet Saturday. You're not quite a bad a crowd as you are down at Auburn. So I think you and Eli will be okay. But anyway, I love everybody. Y'all stay safe, and I'll probably see y'all next Monday, good Lord willing, with a victory in our pocket after Saturday SEC championship game. Y'all be safe, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate my man, the president, Waylon, calling to the show on a Wednesday. I mean, Eli, I think we'll be okay. I mean, I think you and I will be okay. I mean, down there in Auburn, Jordan-Hare, Lee, that was tough, Lee County. That was tough, all right? But I think in the area of Atlanta where there's a lot more stuff around us, I think we'll be much better in the Atlanta area. But we're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
My name is Luke. I'm calling from L.A., California.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing all right. I'm a little nervous about this running game. How are we going to stop Georgia's running game? Because all season long, I feel like we have just been sort of unable to stop the other team when they decide to run the football. I wanted to hear your take on how we're going to stop the run game.
Well, first and foremost, Luke, is going to come down to Alabama's defensive line. They have got to establish and then reestablish the line of scrimmage. They got to own the line of scrimmage this whole game. Bama's defensive line has got to be in Georgia's backfield all game long. They got to. So this is Tim Keenan, Damon Payne, those two gap guys, those space eaters, they got to take on double teams. They got to eat space. They got to win those matchups. And then, your guys like Justin Boygby, Tim Smith, Jaheim Otis, they have got to fill those gaps and hit those backs and make Georgia be in 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, 3rd and long for the majority of the game. They have got to set and reset the line of scrimmage. They have to have Georgia play behind the down and distance. You got to.
We couldn't stop Peyton Thorne from running on Saturday, and then when we played Jaden Daniels at LSU, on LSU, like, we couldn't stop him either. So I'm just like, if they decide to run the ball, I think it's going to be tough on the Alabama defense. And Georgia just has so many weapons at all the levels. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a super tight game.
I think the one thing that's probably going through Coach Saban's mind is what's the thing you want to take away from Georgia? Do you want to take away the run and just say, Carson Beck beat us with tunnel screen to Brock Bowers, or throwing to Brock Bowers and Lat McConkey? Or do you want to take away Bowers and McConkey and go, okay, Georgia, beat us by running the football? So the big thing
is great. Let me preface this by saying I'm an Alabama fan. I went to Alabama. I've been following the team forever. It's a Roll Tide, but man, Edwards is scary good too. So man, I'm a little nervous about that, Steven. I'm a little nervous about that, but I think we'll be okay. I'll be curious to see if they let Jalen Milroe run the ball a little bit more, if he uses his legs more, or if they're going to be conservative again. I mean, because if we don't win this game, we don't get to play any other game. So I think Milroe, if he sees an opening, he's got to tuck that ball and he's got to take off.
Gonna have to he's got to be very decisive in this game, and we'll get into more of that in the later part of the show. But appreciate Luke for calling in right there out of California. We're gonna go to this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feel? And state your name and where you calling from.
Hey, my name is Jonathan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you right now. You're coming in clear.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm calling in. I'm from Alabama. So my main thing is like the last caller, he said, how do we stop? We couldn't stop Auburn. I get that, but didn't that running back from Auburn put up like 200 plus on Georgia as well? I mean, he's a good running back. And
yeah, I mean,
if we know anything about Hugh Freeze.
I mean, I'm gonna say this: Jarquez Hunter, Peyton Thorne, they were able to run the ball on Georgia too, and Georgia was in the same type of fight Alabama was against Auburn.
Yeah, and the scary thing is if Hugh Freeze gets a stud quarterback in the portal, which the portal is like insane right now, if he gets a stud quarterback, I mean, it might be the West. It might be the battle of Alabama and Auburn fighting for the West, or whatever. But Hugh Freeze isn't a joke. And the one thing I will say that I noticed, my dad coached for 30 years at a 6A school in Alabama for a long time. And the one thing he kept noticing about Milroe is he was like, why is he holding on? You saw him clutching that ball the whole game against Auburn. He was just clutching it, looking downfield. And I was like, he can take 3 steps and he's 6 or 7 yards down the field, And I think if he does that against Georgia, it'll make him have to play up close. And that's when we hit the deep balls. He has one of the biggest deep ball threats, out of the teams in the playoffs, maybe besides Bo Nix or, Jaden Daniels is good, man. There's a reason Jaden Daniels put up those numbers against the defense. He's a freak. He's really good. But Georgia's good too. And I just don't see Georgia having the threats at receiver that make me go, oh, that guy can blow past. Like McConkey's good, but he's only got 2 touchdowns and like 400 yards. He's a guy that may get you a slant here and there in key situations, but I just can't see him. I mean, it's 2 touchdowns. I mean, Brock Bowers is the main threat that I'm worried about. What do you think?
Brock Bowers is the main threat. He is for Georgia their potential top 5, top 10 pick in the upcoming draft for next year, and you're gonna have to cover him. You're gonna have to run a bracket coverage on him. You're gonna have to run a bracket coverage on him. Play zone across the board, but I think this game's gonna be about Alabama's defensive line, primarily the defensive tackles, defensive ends. They got to get pressure from the inside, stop the run most importantly, but they got to get pressure from the inside and just knock Carson Beck off the spot a couple times. Knock him off the spot a couple times. You don't have to get like 10, 12 sacks, but get your 3 to 4 sacks, knock the ball down, and the defensive line just get them off the spot a few times.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed too was on the defensive side was my buddy's a big Miami Hurricane fan, and he didn't like Kevin Steele, and Kevin Steele I think has more success at Alabama because we have the athletes, to do the things that he wants to do. We can play a lot of man coverage and just and be fine with that. But the one thing he made a good comment about the beginning of the season, as I was like, he's like, watch Kevin Steele. He doesn't like to blitz a lot. And that's the one thing I noticed. Like, we didn't blitz a ton. I am glad we got rid of Pete Golding because he would run a 3-man front on an obvious running down, which would like make my mind just like blow up, But I'm just wondering if Kevin Steele can dial up some blitzes, especially some that are hard to see. Because sometimes I see a blitz coming and I'm like, I know the offense sees that. The corner sneaks in later, or the safety comes in late to blitz, and I'm just like, I wonder if we can sneak some in and kind of force him to play behind the sticks. Because I've never seen Georgia play 2nd and 12. I think you said this like 10 minutes ago. 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, stuff like that. I know Georgia likes on their side of the ball on defense. They do this weird shift on the defensive line, which I think we should look at as a rule thing because they shift that defensive line, right at the end to confuse the A gap and the B gap. And the one thing I'm used to, I'm just like, man, like the offensive line can't move, and they'll shift last minute, and all of a sudden the quarterback, and Jalen Milroe, I won't say is intelligent quarterback, but he's not the most like high IQ Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa guy. But I think next year we will see that. I think next year we're going to see a crazy evolution in Jalen Milroe. I think he'll be a Heisman candidate, obviously. But the one thing I'm concerned with is that Georgia shifts that defensive line up. You know how they do that before a snap. And I think it confuses the A gap and the B gap. And I think that's the main thing we got to focus on is like, if we can make them play behind the sticks a few times, I've never seen Georgia do that. I mean, outside of, Georgia being a 6-point favorite, Bama doesn't play Texas. We play Texas Southern or Texas Tech and beat them. I mean, we're probably the favorite, and, we're probably ranked number 2, and we could probably lose the game and still make it. But it's crazy, man. This is an interesting year. I can't believe we are possibly going to win the game, or if we do win the game, we cannot get in. And that's my last closing statement is, what do you think happens if we win? Where's the highest you could see us, and where's the lowest you could see us?
Okay, so if Bama beats Georgia, the highest I would see Bama is getting into the playoff because it wouldn't make any sense if you were to beat the number 1 team in the nation that hasn't lost in 3 years, the back-to-back defending national champion. Nobody else would have a better win on the resume. Nobody else would have it. Oregon wouldn't have it. Florida State wouldn't have it. Michigan wouldn't have it. Nobody else would have it on the resume. So if you were to beat Georgia, win the SEC championship, the highest would be Bama getting into the playoff. The lowest would be Bama would sit at 5. The committee will put Bama at 5, and they would have Bama more than likely play against Texas, rematch Texas in the Sugar Bowl. So that would be by highest, Bama in the playoff that beats Georgia. By lowest, the committee would sit Bama at 5, and they would have Bama play Texas in the Sugar Bowl there. But appreciate Jonathan calling in right there to the show. Gotta shout out Siobhan Pompey with that $9.99 in the super chat. Siobhan Pompey helping us out right there, putting that love in the bucket. That daily super chat go $100 daily. Super chat go $100 right there. Appreciate you guys. Gonna go to our cool call topic, folks. 4th and 31, we'll have a Daniel Moore painting. Daniel Moore getting the easel out now. NewLifeArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. They tweeted today, shared on social media today, all you want for Christmas is a 4th and 31 painting. So Daniel Moore getting it together right now. In 2 weeks, the stencil art will be done. So closing in on the Christmas holidays, 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe to Isaiah Bond. That painting will be done by Daniel Moore. That is awesome, Eli. For Jalen Milroe to go from, we don't know if he's suited to be the Alabama quarterback in the offseason, to this dude is about to have a Daniel Moore painting. I mean, what a transformation. To go from the long shot to win the starting quarterback job to this dude got a Daniel Moore painting. It's going up, folks. 2 weeks. 4th and 31. We will have that painting, newlifeart.com, courtesy one Daniel Moore. But we take a break right here, folks. If you're holding on the call-in queue, hold on for the next 10 minutes or call back within the next 10 minutes. Definitely want to get your thoughts. But we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we dive into the keys for Bama. Keys for Bama to beat Georgia. We touching on those right after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back locked and loaded to the action from the break on a Wednesday hump day. Number one ticket for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Continue hitting that subscribe button, clicking that subscribe button, getting locked on to all of your fresh Bama content, sharing the show with everybody that you know on all platforms, hitting the like button as well, smashing the like button, giving us that thumbs up there. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. But right now, topic 2 of the conversation, keys to victory for Alabama against Georgia. We see this tango for a 6th time between Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. We see Alabama and Georgia playing each other for an SEC championship for the 4th time in Coach Saban's tenure at Tuscaloosa. Alabama and Georgia played each other 2012 for an SEC title, 2018 for an SEC title, and 2021 for an SEC championship. Bama 3-0 in all of those matchups, and they're facing each other again in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Excited about that. But for 3 keys here for Alabama in terms of what it's got to do to win this game, Eli's got them all on screen here. Number 1, Bama's defensive line and offensive line. They got to dominate. They got to own the line of scrimmage. Games are won in the trenches, especially games like these. So the Bama defensive line, the Bama offensive line, got to own this matchup from start to finish. That's number 1. Number 2, Jalen Milroe's got to be very decisive. He's got to be razor sharp in his decision-making in this matchup against Georgia. And then last but not least, Bama can't have the self-inflicted mistakes. You can't have the penalties. You can't have turnovers. You cannot have self-inflicted mistakes here against Georgia. So starting this off here with the offensive line and defensive line, Eric Wolford and Freddie Roach, they got to have their groups ready to go. O-line, D-line got to be on their A game. O-line got to be able to lean on Georgia's defensive line, move them off the football, play big man bully football. Caden Proctor, Jaden Roberts, Seth McLaughlin, Tyler Booker, J.C. Latham, they got to push Georgia off the ball. You got to create these run lanes for these backs, protect Jalen Milroe, create opportunities for Jalen Milroe running the football. This offensive line has got to be on its A game. If it has to go back and watch the 2021 SEC Championship game, because remember that game, remember the 2021 title game where the conversation coming in was, how is Alabama's O-line going to handle Georgia? How will Alabama neutralize Jordan Davis, N'Kobe Dean, Nolan Smith? How will Bama handle the creatures that Georgia has on its defense? And what did we see? All we saw was Seth McLaughlin, J.C. Latham, and company handle Georgia to where Bryce Young has 421 passing yards and went on to win the Heisman Trophy, and you beat Georgia 41-24. So Bama's going to have to go back and recollect, what it did in that 2021 game and bring it back here to this matchup. In terms of the defensive line, that group with Justin Aboigbe, Tim Smith, Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis, you have got to establish and reestablish, push Georgia's O-line back. Have Georgia playing behind the down and distance every time, or more times than not. That's what you got to do. You can't have Georgia dictate the tempo, push you off the ball, lean on you. No. This Bama offensive line has got to win their box one-on-one battles. And allowing Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, Jahad Campbell, Kendrick Blackshaw, Deontay Austin, allow these linebackers to feast. This Bama defensive line has got to play in Georgia's backfield all game long and force unfavorable down and distances here for the Bulldogs. That's number one. Number two, going into Jalen Milroe, got to be decisive in this game. He's got to have made up in his mind whether I'm going to run this football or whether I'm going to throw this football. Eli's got the clip here from the LSU game. Milroe's got to have that performance. The performance he had against LSU, where Milroe knew at this point, I'm taking off and I'm running, take off and go. If you are past the line of scrimmage, go. Take off and go. If you already got in your mind, I'm throwing this football to Burton, to Bond, to whoever, throw the ball. Make decisions quickly, Milroe. Be sharp, be on it, be decisive. Whatever you're going to do in that split second, have it done. Have it done. Because Georgia's going to want to come after you with everything that they've got up front. But for Jalen Milroe, quick decision-making, being sharp with it, heavily decisive, know what you're going to do before that ball even hits your hand. Know what you're going to do. So that's the thing there for Milroe. And then last but not least here, for Alabama, you can't have the self-inflicted mistakes. We saw this against Auburn. Penalties took, Eli, 3 to 4 touchdowns away. You can't have the penalties. Or 2 touchdowns away, according to Eli. You can't have the penalties. I mean, you can't have turnovers. You cannot give a team like Georgia that hasn't lost in 3 years. You can't give a team like Georgia, who's the back-to-back defending national champion, you can't give them help. You can't give them help. Can't do it. So, no penalties, or no just back-breaking penalties, and no turnovers. You gotta play clean, mistake-free football in this matchup to take care of that business against the Dogs. But those are just my 3 keys there for Alabama and facing Georgia here on Saturday. But we go to another break here, folks. We'll touch that dial. When we return, we jump back into the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, get them lined up. Line us up. Want to hear from you after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, here we go. Back in live to the action from the break. Number one ticket here for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production room right now. Gotta show some love for Dale B with that $20 donation. Dropping that in there. Appreciate Dale B. Helping us out here on the show. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. Appreciate you guys. But right now, we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, man, this is Jay Sports Cards. I was wondering with Brooks, the receiver Ja'Cory Brooks, what his status is.
Well, Ja'Cory Brooks...
So he can contribute.
Well, Jay Sports Cards, so Ja'Cory Brooks has been dealing with a shoulder all season, a banged-up shoulder. He has not played much this year at all. Don't know if he'll be able to contribute this game. He could, but don't know if he'll be able to contribute against Georgia. Possibly college football playoff, New Year's Six Bowl, he may be able to, but against Georgia, not quite sure. Coach Saban has not really brought up his status to this point, but I know Ja'Cory has been dealing with a shoulder issue this season.
And I think Jalen Hale could be a X factor against Georgia.
Really like Jalen Hale. I think the kid's a baller. Had a huge game against Ole Miss earlier in the season with a touchdown catch there. But he caught 2 or 3 passes against Kentucky. So I think if you put him out there, that young man can play.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate Jay Sports Card calling in right there. We're going to grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? It's JD Long, man. How you doing?
JD, doing well, man. I'm excited about being able to go down there to Atlanta Saturday, SEC title game, Bama, Georgia. I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you long, Steve. I just got a couple of questions for you. So, what's the status on Trace McClellan? I seen that he didn't practice the last couple of days. Will he play Saturday, or will he be out?
Okay, so he didn't practice Monday, so we'll see today. We'll see today, and now if he doesn't go Wednesday, we'll see. Today is Wednesday, but he didn't practice Monday, didn't go today, didn't go yesterday. If he went today, then that's a positive. If he did not go today, then that's where you could look at 1-2 punch, Roydell Williams, Jam Miller, and then you'll see Justice Haynes in there as well. Seeing as how he's Georgia native, Georgia legacy, his dad played for the Bulldogs. So I think more so we may be looking at 1-2 punch, Jam Miller, Roydell, with Justice Haynes sprinkled in there.
What you think about this? I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, I want to have all hands on deck, but man, that'd be a big blow. But I do feel like, you know, of course, I'm always a big Roydell fan. You know, grew up in Birmingham, and he grew up in Hagerstown, so I always look for Roydell. I think he's done a heck of a job, and Jam too. But man, I think we need everybody for this game, Steve. I don't know how you feel, but
JD, I think so too. Like I said, for me, and just covering Alabama football, what I've noticed is if you're not able to practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saban is not going to put you out there. So to me, if Jace didn't go Monday, Tuesday, but he went a little bit today, then that's a positive, because if he's able to do something Thursday and walk through, then that gives you some hope to see Jace out there. But if Jace didn't go today too, it's going to be kind of hard to really put Jace out there.
Yeah, I definitely understand. And the last thing too, Steve, what's the status on Lawson and Key, man? I feel like in the Auburn game, like I feel like they kind of play a little. I know they've been out for a couple of weeks. I feel like they kind of play a little step slower than they normally play. Will they be 100%? Because we definitely will need them at full strength on Saturday.
I think both of those two, JD, will be good to go. I think Lawson was a bit more favoring his issue than Key was, but I think Key he'll be 100%, and I think Lawson will be 100% after getting with the training team, getting in the hot tub, cold tub treatment there, and getting with Jeff Allen. I think both of those two will be set to go fully for this matchup with Georgia.
Hey, I appreciate David Pollack doing that rap for us. Hey, I know Saban's seeing it, so I hope they just give a little bit more. I know we already motivated, but I hope they maybe just give a little bit more extra motivation to blow these boys out. Roll Tide, Steve. Let's get this win Saturday.
Absolutely. J.D. Long calling in from Birmingham, giving us some help here on the show. And you do need Eli all hands on deck. I understand where J.D.'s coming from. My thing is, and Eli, you can attest to this, you being around me covering this team, if you don't practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saban is not going to feel comfortable putting you out there. Now, if you do go one of those 3 days or 2 of those 3 days, and then you do some stuff in Thursday's walkthrough, that gives you a bit more hope to be out there in the field. Now, I think Jalen Key and Deontay Lawson, they'll be full go Saturday. They'll be 100% Saturday, both of those two. Chase McClellan, I want to see Chase out there because he's worked so hard. I want to see him out there. But after he came off the field, crutches there in the Iron Bowl, and Saban saying we're gonna give this 48-hour window to see how is he gonna look. But you list him as day to day. Don't think he practiced Monday. Tuesday he may have done a little bit. I don't know how much he did today. Kind of tough because those ankle and foot injuries are real tricky. You don't know how much you can really push and move on them, right? I mean, I'm no doctor. I'm not Dr. Andrews or Dr. Kane. I'm no doctor. I'm just saying, I've hurt my foot before. Not at that same magnitude as these athletes, but I've hurt my foot and ankle before. That stuff is tricky. Because one moment you feel like, hey, I can go, I'm good, put me in the frying pan, coach shot it, am I right? And the next moment you're like, Jesus, help me! This foot! So, tricky. But Jace, hard-nosed dude, competitive, want to be out there. My hope is how he's out there playing against Georgia this weekend. But cool call topic right here, folks. Jalen Milroe is a semifinalist for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, which goes to the best player that represents the state of Texas. Jalen Milroe from Katy, Texas. So he's a semifinalist for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. Awesome there for Milroe. Bama's also got some guys finalists for national honors. Will Reichert, finalist for the Groza Award. If Reichert don't win the Groza, we got problems. Problems. If Reichert don't come on with this Groza. If Reichert don't come on with this Groza, but I will be going down to the Palm Beach Commission down there in Florida with my pitchfork and torch. Got some problems if Reichert don't win this Groza. Then we got Dallas Turner, who's a finalist for the Chuck Bednarik Award. He's also a finalist for the Lot Impact Trophy. I'm just saying, though, Eli, if Riker don't win this Groza, I'll be mad. I have never screeched like that, boy. I'm really going to be mad. Jeez, can we get that screech recorded there? Man, I'm mad. If Riker don't win this Groza, Eli, you might want to have me locked up in a cave somewhere. I'm going to really go down there and tee these folks off. Man, calm down, Steven. Good God. See that right there, fans, is unadulterated passion from me when I'm screeching in like 33 degrees outside cold. That is see, fans, y'all got that for free. Unadulterated passion there. Golly. Man, Eli, yeah. Eli's gonna definitely have to calm me down during the break. I was not intending for that to come out, but it did. To my wife, Mia, babe, you deal with me, though. You deal with me even though I am screeching. So, love you, babe. You are the real MVP right now. We're going to go to a break right now, folks. When we get back, we tidy up loose ends with a discussion on Alabama's 2024 schedule. It's out. A lot of marquee games. Is this what we wanted from this schedule? We'll wrap things up with that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama, and you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
So, folks, we're back into the action from the break on the number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Eli cracking jokes on me. He says I got the Tom and Jerry screech. Something off a cartoon. So we're going to definitely have to record that and use that as a sound effect at some point. Tom and Jerry screech. Great cartoon. You know, they said that cartoon, Eli, is the original gangster. You know, because Jerry was doing some violence to Tom there. Yeah, so Tom and Jerry, they silent, but they thugging. Tom and Jerry, yeah, right there, silent but thugging. Tom and Jerry, some good stuff there. Watching that as a kid, and feel the moments I watched that even as an adult. So gotta love Tom and Jerry. Anyway, final discussion here on the show, folks. 2024 schedules are out for college football teams, and bits and pieces here of Bama's schedule came out. I was reading the article from ESPN's Chris Lowe, and I'm just like, this gauntlet that Alabama has, Crimson Tide Nation, we got what we asked for. We got exactly what we wanted. So of the games that came out, Eli, Bama plays Georgia on September 19th. No, September 28th. September 28th, Bama plays Georgia in Tuscaloosa, if I'm not mistaken. Then it plays Tennessee on October 19th at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The month of November is crazy where the schedule is concerned. The month of November. Circle the month of November. November 9th, Bama plays LSU. Then November 23rd, Eli, Bama travels to Norman to play Oklahoma. Then November 30th, Bama comes back to Tuscaloosa to play Auburn for the Iron Bowl. This is a gauntlet of a schedule. This is a gauntlet. And I mean, but this is what we wanted, right? More compelling matchups, more marquee games, more moments to get us to a TV set. And as much as I'm enjoying this, the concern I do have, though it's a small concern, is if Alabama, if the SEC were to ever go to a 9-game conference schedule, because Nick Saban's been calling for that, would that take away the ability to play the one marquee non-conference opponent? Would it take that away? I hope it doesn't, because Saban likes playing that one big-time non-conference opponent early on to see where are we in relation to the ultimate goal, which is competing for a shot to be in the college football playoff and compete for a national championship. So while my heart would leap for joy for 9 conference games, because we saw in 2020 the 10 conference game SEC schedule and how great that was, and you did it with no problem. So while I would love to see 9 conference games, it would hurt if the one major non-conference game you get a chance to play is taken away. It's kind of a catch-22 ordeal, if you will. But I mean, this 2024 schedule, y'all, is like, this is no cakewalk. This is a gauntlet. I mean, for Bama to take on that month of November, when you got LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn, that ain't nothing to play with. Then you got Tennessee, October 19th. You got Georgia in September. Good God, that's a schedule. That's going to be some good football next year. And then you have a 12-team playoff starting next year. I mean, the number 13 team's going to be like, well, we got a schedule. Put us in. Oh, man. 12-team playoff next year, these 2024 schedules. Woo. Gotta love college football. I mean, so Eli, I mean, is this what we wanted, though? I mean, are you, Eli, feeling this? These schedules for 2024, are you feeling this? I mean, I kind of am. I mean, are you? Eli says he likes it. Okay, so Eli likes it. I'm feeling it. My main thing is just don't take away the one marquee game that you need early on to boost the resume early on. That's my thing, but we'll see if it ever comes a moment where Greg Sankey is like, okay, let's go to 9 conference games in the SEC, and then you can still keep the one non-conference game against against a big traditional Power 5 opponent. We'll see in all these coffee field conversations what does Greg Sankey come up with. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. We'll continue to give you Bama football content on Friday from Hotlanta. You can check that out right there as we will be on location, Eli and myself. But gotta give a shout out to you, the Bama fans, for all that you do, making this your show, your spot for talk all things Crimson Tide football. We appreciate all the calls, chats, donations, conversations from you today. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio, holding it down this week for us. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. you protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Steven Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.